The 2004 Subway 400 at Rockingham Speedway would be the last for the NASCAR Cup Series at the track. The race was the second on the Nextel Cup calendar for that year, and it took place on February 22, 2004. NASCAR decided to leave the track due to poor attendance, as this race had 50,000 people and the track capacity was about 61,000. But I think that's pretty comical if you look at today, because I think NASCAR would be pretty happy to have those numbers at a racetrack. The race date was given to the Phoenix International Raceway for the 2005 season. As he was known at the time, Rocket Man Ryan Newman was on pole for the race.
Here we go, DW.
All right, boys, let's go racing. It's Sunday. Boogity, 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 boys.
Just like yesterday in the Busch race, Ryan Newman on the bottom. In the 12 car, he gets the run off turn 2. Jamie McMurray, our winner yesterday in the 42 car, falls in behind him, running second. Right now on fresh tires, these guys will be running right around the bottom of the racetrack.
As you can see from the shot so far, the crowd looks pretty damn good. Even the backstretch stands are filled, which is really something that you never see today. The start of the race would kick off a 39-lap green flag run before we would see the first caution. The caution would fly for the 49 car of Ken Schrader getting into the wall, and I still don't know why this was an actual caution, but then again, back then NASCAR was pretty much known for throwing BS cautions to tighten up the field. All the leaders would come down pit road to make green flag pit stops, and Jeff Gordon would win the race off pit road. However, Jeremy Mayfield had a tire getaway and it was struck by John Andretti's car. Pretty dangerous situation with that thing bouncing like crazy on pit road, and it ended up going right over the wall into the front stretch grass.
John Andretti in the one hit it.
Wow, look at that thing. The one I saw was further down at the curve in turn number 1.
With interliner, that's about 75 pounds bouncing up and down there.
It can do some serious damage.
Boing, boing. Watch it jump over that wall. Boing.
Jeff Gordon would lead the field back to green on the restart.
Going to go back to green with Jeff Gordon, Jamie McMurray, Casey Kane, Dale Jarrett, Ryan Newman, Earnhardt Jr., Wallace, Kenseth, Ward Burton, and Sterling Marlin, the top 10.
There you see with our Fox tracks, their speed builds going down the backstretch into turn 3, over 160 miles per hour.
It didn't take long for the yellow flag to fly once again as Kyle Petty found himself into trouble off turn 2 and down the backstretch.
Did he get together with Johnny Sauter?
Yeah, they definitely got together, but I'm not sure. Sometimes those cars will get together like that. It'll hit your left front wheel, and it'll just take the car right out. You just lose control of the car.
From our hood pin cam on board Johnny Sauter.
Yeah. He just came off of turn 2 over there. You don't have enough room to really come off underneath somebody. He got into the side of it.
Robbie Gordon, who stayed on the racetrack, would lead the field back to the green flag.
Here we go. Petty was able to stay on the lead lap, and so did Ken Schrader from his earlier bump with the wall that brought out the first caution of the day. The only cars in the garage, Kirk Shelberdine and Joe Ruttman. Neither of those cars were in the final practice, made a brief appearance and gone home.
This would be a pretty lengthy green flag run of 74 laps, and a lot of drivers would make green flag pit stops, including the leaders, due to the extreme tire wear, which is another thing that we don't really see today much. But as the leader Matt Kenseth was on pit road, trouble would strike. Jimmy Johnson and Ken Schrader would get together in turn number 4, bringing out the third caution of the race.
He did get into the back of
him, yeah.
And Kenny Schrader looked like was maybe trying to slow down, maybe to get to pit road.
Schrader's up a little high right there. Yeah, see, Schrader should have been down lower on the racetrack, and that's a hard lick for Jimmy Johnson.
And the Lowe's Chevrolet looks done for the day. Jimmy's okay.
This was a bad break for Jimmy Johnson, as he was already kind of having a tough day. and a bad judgment call by Kenny Schrader. Maybe it was a last second call to come down to pit road. Schrader would continue, but Jimmy Johnson would obviously be done for the day. The order running was kind of confusing due to the timing of the caution, but Matt Kenseth did not lose a lap in this whole situation, so he remained in the lead of the race as the guys who stayed on the racetrack pitted. Several cars on the bottom are all one lap down, and Jeff Gordon, who looks to be in the lead, is actually on the tail end of the lead lap on the restart.
Reason being, Jeff Gordon's on the tail end of the lead lap because he did not come back to pit road. With that said, what do you think, Mike? Let's crank it up.
This would be another decent green flag run of 55 laps. The yellow flag would fly again on lap 196 when the 14 car of Larry Foyt got into the wall in turns 1 and 2. Unfortunately, there was no replay of this incident, but I'm assuming it was pretty similar to when Schrader got into the wall, and probably didn't actually deserve a caution. The yellow would be a pretty short one, and Matt Kenseth would lead the field back to green.
Stewart's actually trying to get one of about 2 laps back. Remember, the reason he is 2 laps down, he just had made a green flag stop before that caution with a flat tire.
You're going to have to be beside the guy if you're going to push him up out of the way.
Bobby Gordon
here we
makes
go.
it
3 wide down into turn 3. Well, only momentarily. You either are momentarily or you don't make it.
Matt Kenseth wasted no time in stepping out with the lead.
Let me just say this real quick, that's a pretty cool helmet cam on Robbie Gordon all the way back in 2004. On lap 210, Dale Jarrett would find trouble as a mechanical failure would put an end to his day. The engine was actually still running and Dale believed it to be in the transmission or in the rear end gear of the car. Dale slowed on the racetrack, but there was no caution as he was able to get behind the wall just past the entrance to pit road. But while he pulled his car in, and the broadcast was talking about it, a yellow flag did fly on the racetrack for debris, and yes, that is a beer in the middle of the racetrack. I have no idea how it got there or if someone threw it. If it's full, empty can, I don't know, but there's a Miller Lite in the middle of the racetrack. So NASCAR threw the caution. The leaders would all pit under the yellow, and Matt Kenseth would maintain his lead off pit road and lead the field back to green on the restart.
What Rusty's wanting to do is lead a lap and get those 5 points for leading.
I believe if I was Matt, I would just kind of, he said what I would say. If he can get up here and pass me, I'll let him, but I'm not going to pull over and let him.
Because if he pulls over and let Rusty go by, he may end up letting other cars go by him. That car likes being out front right now.
But I admire him for asking. Doesn't hurt to ask.
This would be another pretty decent green flag run of 45 laps. On lap 264, trouble would strike and we'd see a wild wreck that usually doesn't happen on this type of racetrack. After contact with Joe Nemechek, Carl Long's car literally climbed the wall and flipped over and rolled viciously down the back straightaway before coming to a stop, thankfully on its wheels. Thankfully, Carl was okay and he was easily able to climb out of the car under his own power without any assistance from the medical staff on site.
There's Bobby Labonte.
The blue car in front, 46.
46.
Somebody hits.
Oh, he just gets hooked. Yeah.
Brendan Gaughan got into the back of Joe Nemechek in the 01. Brendan Gaughan in the 77.
And Carl Long goes for the wild ride.
And that's all on driver's side right there, sliding down the racetrack. Now she starts to tumble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 5.5, 6 times.
Everyone would hit pit road, and Matt Kenseth would maintain his lead by winning the race off pit road, and he would lead the field back to green on the restart. After this restart would be the second longest green flag run of the day of 72 laps, and just as the leader Matt Kenseth was hitting pit road, trouble would strike once again as Robbie Gordon and Jeff Green got into trouble, putting Robbie Gordon into the wall hard.
Let's see what happened to bring out this caution.
Oh, Robbie gets loose off of turn 2. And look. He's up on his side and almost goes over.
That's on the exit of DW's hot spot.
That's it. Well, it's that transition there. There's a little hump there that just kind of throws the car sideways.
And in very similar fashion to Carl Long's incident earlier in the race, Robbie Gordon climbs the backstretch wall, gets on his side, but thankfully the car does not flip over like Carl Long's did. This would put an end to Robbie Gordon's day, and it would cause just a little bit more confusion again as to who was actually leading the race as the leaders were on pit road. Just like earlier in the race, Matt Kenseth was able to stay on the lead lap, as well as Kasey Kahne, who was right behind him, and when the rest of the lead lap cars pitted under the caution, they cycled to the front of the field. Matt Kenseth leads them back to green on this restart.
That's what I'm thinking. 30 to go. It's going to get good now.
And Kenseth has been excellent on restarts all day long. Gets a huge jump just about every time.
Of course, Kasey Kahne in the 9, Jamie McMurray in the 42. They're going to have to contend with Mark Martin in the 6 and Jeremy Mayfield in the 19, which are a lap down.
Look at how far out there Kenseth gets, just off of turn 2 and down the back. Pulls out there about 15 car lengths.
His teammate Mark Martin in the 6 pulls up in front of Kasey Kahne in the 9, and Matt Kenseth just continues to drive away.
I think for Kenseth, preparation has just met opportunity.
Matt Kenseth gets a nice jump on the restart and a little help from his teammate Mark Martin, who was a lapped car, kind of impeding Kasey Kahne a little bit, as this would actually be the last restart of the day and the run to the checkered flag. Matt Kenseth had a nice lead from that restart, but over the run in the closing laps, Kasey Kahne and Jamie McMurray would run him down, and we would get a pretty epic finish to close out Cup Series racing at Rockingham.
There'll be 2 laps to go this next time. There's 1 lap car up in front of him, Derek Cope in the 50 car.
And he won't be a factor. He pulls down and out of the way. 2 crew chiefs looking on. Robbie Reiser, Tommy Baldwin. 2 to go. 3 cars that could win it.
Boy, the 9 got a great run off of 2 that time. He went up a little high, but he couldn't carry it all the way off. Had to get out of the throttle a tiny bit over there off of 2.
Look, McMurray looks like he's going to go to the bottom this time. This is where he's been so good.
That's where he should have been. I would have gone to the bottom sooner if I'd have been him.
He just like yesterday. The pass. White flag this time. 1 to go, boys.
All right, somebody's got to go different. Can't all go the same way.
Kenseth went low in 1. Changes lanes. Here comes Kahne on the outside.
Just can't quite man it right there off of turn 2.
McMurray almost hit the wall exiting 2 and drops back.
Yeah, he lost a lot of ground right there. Last time through 3 and 4, though.
Here they
Kahne goes to the bottom.
Kahne comes to the bottom.
He gets a run. He's got a good run on him.
Side by side of the line. Kenseth.
Told you it'd be a Fomoco finish.
Matt Kenseth wins the Subway 400. His 8th career win.
1/100th of a second.
Matt Kenseth just beats Kasey Kahne to the line by 1/100th of a second, and honestly, to this day, I still think if Kasey Kahne didn't dart down left at the last second, he might have beat him to the line and actually stole the win away from Matt Kenseth, who pretty much dominated the race and led a race high of 259 laps. It's honestly a shame with what happened with Rockingham Speedway, as it's truly a unique track, and I feel like it would really fit in well with the Cup schedule today, but there's a lot of variables from that happening, and I don't know if we're ever going to see Rockingham back anytime soon. However, Rockingham was able to get grant money similar to Charlotte Motor Speedway and North Wilkesboro from the North Carolina government, and lots of work has been done to upgrade the property. It is now currently owned by Rockingham Properties, and they have several events like track days and concerts and stuff like that at the property. The track itself is actually going to receive a full repave, and they're actually going to add lights to it as well, and they hope that someday NASCAR will return to the track. Obviously the goal would probably be Cup Series, but maybe they might try it with the Truck Series again, even though that kind of already failed in 2013. I'm not going to go into too many details as to why the track failed and stuff like that and why stuff's not working. That could be a whole other video, but Rockingham Speedway definitely went out with a bang, and Matt Kenseth, as of right now, will forever be the last winner at the Rockingham Speedway. And that'll wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If this is your first time visiting the channel, I post content just like this on NASCAR and IndyCar every Tuesday, so subscribe to the channel if you like what you've seen and you want more. Hopefully I'll see you guys in my next one. Take care, everybody.